Hey Mandy, are you there? Are you even alive right now? I only ask because I know what a little weakling you are. But tell me, have you finally some man who is either pathetic or kind enough to get together with you? I doubt it. I mean, who in the world would ever want to marry a mindless little nitwit like you? Nobody will ever want to be with you ever again. Do you understand me?
Kenny, what is this all about? What do you want? You almost never message me, and now this is all you have to say? Did something happen? Can I help you with something? Is there a point to any of this at all?
Oh well, I see that you're still alive at least. And I also realized it had been quite some time since I had last talked with you. So I just thought I would reach out to you and see if you would respond to me. I suppose that you can say that I was just curious about what you were up to now that you're no longer with the man who was supporting you all this time. I sure hope that you're doing all right though.
Well, if you must know, I have since started a new job and am earning quite well. In fact, I'm even living with my new family these days, so there.
Wait a second, a new family? Does that mean you actually found someone who would want to marry you? Just who in the world would want to marry an ugly old hag like you?
You can say whatever you'd like, but I have a husband and I know that he loves me very, very much. And he doesn't say anything rude or mean about me. Besides, you all were the people who ignored me for 2 years of my life. I thought that I was going to be living with your family and getting to know them, and I never had anyone talk to me at all in practically that whole time. So you have some nerve saying that you were providing for me when you were expecting me to live in those conditions.
Oh geez, what is even your problem, huh? What did I do to you that you even complain about me while we were together? You had all those years to raise your voice and say something to me about how you felt, but you never once did you?
I don't need you to remind me of what it was like living with you, thank you very much. I can still remember all the pain that you put me through. And you're right, I didn't speak up, and maybe I should have, but it's not like you couldn't see the pain that I was going through. But at least now I found a new family that appreciates and cares about me, so please, just stay out of my life.
Excuse me? Do you really think that a stupid woman who is only good for cleaning up around the house and picking up after a man like you can talk to me like that? You're just lucky that you managed to find some dupe who you could fool into marrying you. Although I am sure that whoever you did convince to marry you is just some loser who probably barely makes any more at all.
Well, that just shows how much you know. You don't know what you're talking about at all. My husband is a lovely, caring man with a big heart of gold. He's made me feel things that you never did while we were together.
You're one to talk. You know, the only reason I wanted to be with you in the first place is because when we were married, at least you were still pretty. But then, after you and I got married and had kids and started taking care of them, it was just really all downhill from there on. And I was literally able to watch you get older and uglier day by day.
Well, maybe if you could actually see me aging in real time, it was only because you never ever did anything to help me out around the house. You never helped me clean up around the house, and you never offered to cook dinner for the family. You hardly ever spent any time raising the children. You wouldn't even bother learning how to change a baby's diaper, and I had to change every last one. I bet that you still don't know how to do that.
Well, the only reason why I don't know how to change a baby's diapers is because you never ever taught me how to change it.
Oh, please. We live in the age of the internet. If you really cared about learning at all, you could have always just looked it up yourself, especially at this point. And just why is it my job to teach you every little thing that you should have been trying to teach yourself before we had our kid? You're not a child. You're an adult, and you have to start taking responsibility for your actions, Kenny. Of course, I don't know why I'm bothering to even talk to you about this at this point.
You really just don't get it at all, do you? I was the husband, and you were the wife. Of course it was your job to show me how to do everything. Of course. Now you have another man. Maybe he's fool enough to get tricked into doing all the work that you should be doing. But I seriously doubt that an idiot like you would even know how to trick a man into doing that.
Just stop it already, Kenny. if this is all you have to say to me, then I think that this conversation is over. My husband is an amazing man, a real gentleman, and one of the sweetest people that I've ever met. So quit talking about him as if you know him, because you don't.
What? He's your knight in shining armor who came to rescue you from your sad little life. Give me a break. You're pathetic, and I bet that your husband is even more of a closer than you are.
If you're just going to keep insulting my husband and I, then I'm going to block your number, Kenny. Now, is there a point to all of this? Is there something that you actually wanted to talk to me about? Because I really don't want to spend any more time messaging you than I need to.
Actually, since you asked, there is something that I wanted to talk to you about. Well, something other than how sad your life is right now, of course. You see, my daughter is finally going to be getting married, and I want you to be there for her wedding.
Excuse me? Are you serious? Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? You really think that I'm going to go to that wedding? Why would I ever feel the need to do that? Of course I'm not going to go to the wedding. You completely ignored me the whole time we were married and never even let me be a mother.
Oh, come on. You don't know what you're talking about at all. It wasn't that bad. But fine. If it really matters to you at all, then I'm sorry my family and I completely ignored your existence for the 2 years that we were married.
You really think that I want an apology from you after all this time? Is that why you think I'm upset?
I mean, I assume so, yeah. But anyways, I apologize now, so everything should be okay, right? I mean, I said she's my daughter, but you are her mother, and you should be there for her, don't you think?
Why? What would even be the point of my attending the wedding after all the time? It would be meaningless.
Of course it wouldn't be meaningless. Like I said, you are literally the mother of the bride. You have to be at the wedding. Just think of how it will make Julie look to have only one of her parents there. What are her fiancé's parents going to think if they see that she comes from a family so broken that the parents can't even stand with each other for their daughter's wedding?
Did you really think that saying that is going to convince me to go to this wedding? Do you really think it's going to be that easy?
I really think that it should be anyways. I mean, personally, I don't think that you should really even be saying this is a good thing. You should be happy at having the chance to see your little girl go walking down the aisle.
You say all of this, but what does Julie think? Have you even asked her about this? Does she even want me to be there at her wedding?
Well, she said that having you there would be better than having no mom show up at her wedding at all. So you see, even though we all have ignored you for a while, you're still getting an invitation to the wedding. The only one holding any kind of grudge here is you.
As is my right to, thank you very much. And I'm not happy about this one bit, if you must know. I tried my best to make you and your family happy, to be whatever kind of wife and daughter-in-law that you wanted me to be. But despite all my hard work, you hardly ever let me be there for Julie, and in the end, you all drove me away.
Well, I'm sorry, but I really don't see how you can tell a story like that and not realize that you were just unfit to be a mother in the first place. But I think the fact that Julie is inviting you goes to show the kind of person that she is. She's trying to make up with her mother, so why don't you just let her have this?
I can't believe the ways that you're trying to fool me into doing this. Do you really think I'm going to go even after you've said all of that?
Oh, come on. This is our daughter that we're talking about. You don't want to let her down, right? Do you really want to go and tell her that her own mother doesn't want to be at her wedding?
I don't want you to tell her that, but I think that you're not being fair to me at all right now.
You really can be such a pain in the neck sometimes. Do you know that? This is Julie's way of trying to make it up with you, and you're spitting it back in her face. So what, we chased out of the house? That was a long time ago, and I've already said that I'm sorry for that. But Julie told me that she was going to try and message you herself, so I would stop being such a downer.
Did she really say that? Is Julie really going to message me soon?
Of course. In fact, she was the one who told me to reach out and tell you about this in the first place. So you better be at her wedding and make sure to bring a gift too. You know that weddings aren't cheap, right?
Oh, right. I guess if I do go to the wedding that I should bring some sort of gift for the bride and groom.
Cash will do just fine. Just make sure that you're ready to go to the wedding and look forward to finally taking your daughter again.
Right. Well, I won't lie. That does make me just the slightest bit excited to go to the wedding.
Great. Then I'll see you there. And you'd actually better be there.
Hey, Mom, are you there? I was just wondering if Dad hadn't already reached out to you. He told me he did, but he did also mention that I was going to be getting married, right? I just wanted to say that you better be there. Oh, hello, Julie. It's been so long since I've heard from you. Thank you so much for sending me a message. And I just wanted to start with a huge congratulations on your engagement. I think this is so special, and I'm really proud of you. Great. If you're really proud of me and grateful for the invite, then you can go ahead and bring me $10,000 as a wedding present. I mean, you would not believe how expensive it is to throw a wedding. But of course, since you're my mom, you will give me that money, right? I'm sorry. You want me to give you $10,000 for the wedding? Well, I suppose I could try and muster up that amount. Well, Dad told me that you were working right now. Is that right? He also told me that you're married and having some other man take care of you like how Dad used to. Well, I sure hope that you're happy with your new family, Mom. Honey, I'm not sure I like the way that you're making all of that sound. But yes, if you must know, I do have a new family, and they do make me very happy. Great! Well, since you've remarried, that means you should be able to give me even more money then, right? So, how about you give me $20,000 instead? I'm sorry to say, Julie, but I work so that I can contribute to my family's expenses. I'm not sure that even if I asked my husband to pitch in, that we would be able to raise that much money to give to you. After all, we have a son here and he's getting married as well, so we've been going our best to save up for his wedding as well. Wait a second, do you really? Well, this is news to me, but he isn't actually your son, isn't that right? He's just your husband's kid from a previous marriage. So, are you trying to tell me that you're really going to put this total rando's wedding before your own daughter's? Are you really going to say that this guy's kid is more important than your own flesh and blood? I'm not trying to say that at all, and I'm not really sure that's a fair comparison, Julie. Besides, I frankly didn't even think that you even really thought of me as a mother figure. In fact, I was quite surprised to hear that you wanted to invite me to your wedding at all. Well, it isn't like I had any choice in the matter. Like, really, I mean, could you imagine how bad it would make me look if my own mother wasn't at my wedding? I don't want to have to explain to everyone how my parents split up and why they couldn't come together for just one day. So you'd be saving me a lot of trouble by showing up. I see. Well, either way, I just want you to know that I still am very happy at your invitation to the wedding. After all, I know that you and I have never really gotten along how a mother and daughter usually might. And I was worried that you really hated me. Well, all of that happened a long time ago, so I just don't really think about it all that much. Although, now that you say this, I do remember that even though you were a housewife, you never kept the house clean like you should have. I remember even when I was little, I could tell you that you were just a bad wife. It was so embarrassing to think that I had actually come from you. I was sure that there had to be some mistake, but there wasn't, and so I'm inviting you now. Well, I guess I can't say anything except that I'm glad you still wanted to include me in your big day. Right. Yeah. Anyways, you had better be there at my wedding for me, Mom. I have a really amazing fiancé who makes a ton of money, and I don't want anything going wrong, okay? Yes, of course, dear. I'm so happy that you found someone who makes you happy. Yeah. Anyways, you should also know that nobody knows that you and Dad are actually divorced. I've just been telling everyone that you spent a lot of time overseas on business trips. So don't forget about that when you're introducing yourself to everyone. Got it? Sure. I can play along with that, I guess. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Hey, Kenny, are you there? I'm really, really sorry to have to do this, but I just don't think that I'm going to be able to make it to the wedding today after all.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? How could you say this? I thought that you were happy to be invited and get to see your daughter. You have to come to the wedding today. You said that you would. You can't just try to get out of it now. What's the matter with you? What are you trying to pull here?
Well, the thing is that the day Julie is getting married is actually the same day that my son is getting married. And anyways, I just think that I'm going to be at my son's wedding and not Julie's.
Hold on a second. Are you trying to tell me that you were really going to pick some random kid's wedding to go over your own daughter's? This is Julie we're talking about. You literally gave birth to her.
Really that, but at the same time, she has been the source of a lot of pain for me, as I'm sure that you know. And I don't really want to go to a wedding where I'm going to have to pretend to be the mother that I never was to her. So I hope that you can understand where I'm coming from when I say that I simply just won't be able to make it.
You think this is about you? This has nothing to do with you at all. How could you be this selfish? We are talking about the daughter that you literally carried inside of you for 9 months. Not only that, but the man she is marrying is extremely rich. He's the son of the owner of the Brunswick real estate company.
Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean by that? Is he really?
Of course he is. How dare you even doubt the caliber of a man that a woman like Julie would be able to land as her husband? This is why you have to be there at a wedding.
But there must be some kind of mistake. I mean, why would Julie be marrying him?
There has been a huge mistake if you think that you're going to get away with missing something like this. So you better be there. Hey, just what the heck do you think you're doing with the groom side of the family, huh? What's going on here?
What are you talking about? I'm here on the groom side of the family because I'm the mother of the groom. In fact, you have some nerve sending a message like that to me when you spilled your wine all over my dress.
You aren't making any sense at all. I want you to explain yourself right now. Just what were you thinking, getting up to give a speech after you've been doused in wine?
You know, I don't think I'll ever be able to forget the look on your face as you were piecing it all together after I stood up to speak. But I've already made what happened between us very clear to everyone at the wedding. And just like I said, the wedding is off.
No, you can't do this to us. You can't just cancel the wedding. Take it back right now. Julie was looking forward to this for so long. You can't just rob us of this.
I'm sorry, Kenny, but if you're looking for anyone to blame, how about you start with yourself? I saw how you were looking at me when I walked into the venue. You look like a little kid trying really poorly to hide a big secret. I should have known you would have tried what you were going to do when you threw that wine on me. But I controlled my anger and decided to stay.
But why would you even stay? I thought that you were going to show up for us, and that I would be able to drive you out and humiliate you in front of everyone.
Yes, well, after you did that, I talked to my husband and he said that I should mention your little prank in my speech. And so I did just that. I got up with a dress soaked in wine and I told everyone all about what you had done to me. After all, I was literally wearing the evidence.
So you mean this was your plan the whole time? You were always going to try and sabotage the wedding like this?
Of course not. I would never come to a wedding with the intention to do something like that. Although, I must say that I'm surprised at how fast you work. After all, even though I told you I wasn't going to make it to Julie's wedding, you still managed to find a stand-in mother.
But, I mean, you said that you weren't going to be here. We needed to find someone to sit in and pretend to be Julie's mom. Of course we arranged to have a fake mom here.
No, that isn't it, and I know it. I know that you've been with this woman for a while. Even while we were married.
Wait, what? What do you mean? How did you know that? Who told you? Huh?
Actually, she was the one who came up to me. She recognized me from when we were both together. She told me all about how long you two had been together, and that I shouldn't have come here. She even told me to leave.
Damn that woman. What in the world is she thinking? Trying to do something like that?
Oh, please. The only reason you wanted me here at the wedding in the first place was so that you can try and get money from me. But did you really think that I was going to just come to this wedding just like that, after all the horrible things you did to me?
Oh, who cares about that? You should have just wanted to come to this wedding anyways. It's your daughter getting married. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
So I should have looked forward to a wedding where you were just going to continue to abuse me? But don't worry, even my husband's family knows all about what a horrible family Julie comes from.
Why did you have to go and talk to them about us? What's the matter with you? I mean, I still can't believe that you actually married to that guy. I had no idea that you two were together.
I think it's funny that you thought my husband was ever going to let his son get married to such awful people.
Well, we would have gotten away with it if you didn't ruin this for us. Please, you have to do something to fix this. Your husband is saying that the engagement is off. You have to stop him. Please, you have to talk to him and set this all straight for us. You're the only one that can help us.
If you ask me, that's exactly what you deserve, you jerks. Anyways, have a nice life. Just don't interfere with mine anymore. After that, Kenny and Julie both tried to apologize to me, but I wasn't having any of it at all. They walked right up to me in the venue and got on their knees to beg my forgiveness. But I just looked at my husband and son and said that I would be going home early for the day. Later at home, I was able to tell my family all about the kinds of things that I had to go through while living with Kenny. I never really opened up about my last marriage, but it seemed as good a time as any to, given the circumstances. My husband was sitting next to me the whole time, holding my hand, while I detailed all of my experiences. When I finished speaking, all my son could say was that he was sure glad he dodged that bullet. Then he said how grateful he was that I'd come into his life. Of course, I'm sad that my son's marriage fell apart the way that it did, but given who he was marrying, the marriage wasn't meant to last anyways. As for me, I'm just happy to have found such a supportive family and a new home. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.